Alright guys, I'm back for a review this time, and this is the first ever PlayStation 1 review that I've ever done, and it's for a wrestling game, two wrestling games to be exact, WWF Warzone and WWF Attitude for the PlayStation 1. They were both also available for the N64, while WWF Attitude was also available for the Dreamcast. WWF Warzone was one of the first games in the wrestling genre to ever have a create a wrestler mode, while WWF Attitude was also the last game to be published by Acclaim Sports. You know, the last wrestling game to be... Actually, never mind. It was actually the last WWF game to be published by Acclaim before THQ purchased the rights, while Acclaim later published ECW, some other PlayStation 1 ECW game. So anyway, both games are similar, both similar mechanics, except the health meters is a little different on the Warzone game, and you have to do a lot of combos, which is one of the main reasons why I wasn't really much fond of the games, but looking back at it recently, both games are actually pretty fun. I mean, they define the early 3D use of wrestling. I mean, wrestling games back in the 90s were slowly getting more involved and, more evolved, but it wasn't until the SmackDown series when it really got better, as well as the AKI N64 games, which I might plan on reviewing sometime soon. As long as I get N64 cartridges, then we'll play them. Maybe we can also do a gameplay of both Attitude and Warzone. But yeah, these games were around the same time when wrestling as a whole was still great. I mean, come on, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin, we got The Rock, Triple H, The Undertaker, Mankind, aka Mick Foley. I mean, wrestling back then was so much more entertaining, a lot more dark and brutal, and a lot more tragic, because WWF Attitude also commemorates the death of Owen Hart, the younger brother of Bret Hart, because he died of some kind of technical difficulty during his entrance back in 1999. Pretty tragic, but it's really good that they added him in the game in order of his memory. He was also the Blue Blazer or something, I don't know. So here's the back of both games, and if you're wondering why there's that yellow spot down there on the floor that you've been wondering for a while now, I don't know how it got there, I don't know. So here's both games, both screenshots. Both games have different commentators. Warzone has Jim Ross and Vince McMahon, while in Attitude it has Shane McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler. And WWF Attitude has a bigger roster compared to Warzone. And you know what's weird about Warzone? It not only has Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Kane, and Triple H, but it also has Bret Hart. This must have been his last WWF game before he went to WCW after the infamous Montreal Screwjob or whatever. While Warzone, it only had Owen Hart. Just a few selective characters in the Warzone game. Just all the greatest ones, including the lesser-known guys like Thrasher and Mosh and a few others, while in Warzone, in Attitude, a much bigger roster. There's even some girls like Jacqueline and the late Chyna and Sable. And then there's some more characters like Mark Miro, the Big Boss Man, and Draws and a few others in the Attitude game. There's a much bigger one. If I were to choose which game that I prefer, I'd go for Attitude only because of the bigger roster and the easier mechanics, because the gameplay was a lot better in Attitude. I had a lot more fun. I first played Attitude like around early 2010, while Warzone I think I got back in 2014 or 13, I think, I don't really remember. But both games are similar. They're also available for N64, while Attitude is also available for the Dreamcast. So if you want to get Attitude for the N64 or Dreamcast, be my guest. And if you want Warzone for the N64, go for it. But I'd usually stick to the PlayStation version, mostly because of their intros, because the intros show live footage of actual wrestling matches, which I gotta admit is actually kind of cool, because wrestling as a whole back then had so much more entertainment compared to today's WWE. And if you're wondering why I've been busy for a while, I had to do a whole lot to do with my personal life, as well as, looking at so much more videos lately, like on Super Mario Logan and Angry Grandpa and a few others, yeah. Someday soon I might send fan mail for Super Mario Logan, and I'll also do a few vlogs and maybe more gameplays and reviews leading up to my 5th anniversary, for those of you all who have been along with my channel for so long. June 22nd of this year will mark the 5th anniversary since I've joined YouTube. So thank you all guys for supporting me, and that's all for the review for WWF Warzone and Attitude. So I hope you all like, comment, subscribe, favorite, and share. So Peace out, rock on, have a nice day.